Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on September the 3rd, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, so as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of news today, we did have PMI numbers out of the Eurozone. We did see Euro drop today, and it was a holiday for both US and Canada. But coming up in the Asian session here, we have retail sales number, the month-over-month number here, as well as the cash rate and the rate statement for Australia. Now, Reserve Bank of Australia has cut rates in the past, but we're not really expecting interest rate cut at this point. So, but really what we are looking at here would be the commentary from the bank. So if Reserve Bank of Australia is more dovish, so they have commentary more along the lines of expressing concern in terms of the trade negotiation between US and China, or they're concerned about the growth of the economy. So those would be problems that we would have to keep in mind, and we could see Australian dollar drop as a result. Other than that, we don't have a ton coming up. Tomorrow, though, we are back to normal here. We have PMI numbers out of Canada and the US. So this PMI number here is important because it's a precursor to our retail sales. So if PMI numbers come in below expectations, then the retail sales are not good either. So it's an important number. And if you see negative numbers or below expectations, I should say, not negative, then we are likely to see the US dollar drop. We also have our FOMC members speaking here. Now, with FOMC members, a market always pays attention to the speeches because they show what the bias for the Fed may be. So that, excuse me, so that will be important there. And then we have quarterly GDP numbers for Australia. Again, those will be important here. And then we have PMI numbers for China. So Chinese numbers will have an impact on Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, because if the Chinese economy is not doing as well, we are likely to see Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar drop as well, as they are trade partners or close trade partners with China because of the proximity there. Okay, so that's it for our calendar here. So let's go on to the charts. So looking at our charts here, we'll start off with euro dollar here. And we see that price has been dropping over the last little bit here. And let me just get my numbers here. Okay, so now we are seeing that decline. So price had been stuck for a while, but now we have seen movement over the last few days. So this is where price had been trading in a range previously. Now, though, last 3 days, we have seen this decline. So if we take a look at our charts, we see this is the range that it traded in. So that's the level that we are in. So I'm looking for a drop here. So bias is bearish, but do keep in mind that previously when price was at that point, there were problems. So we could see similar issues again. So with this one, the next target here would be 1.0, so 1.0900. So bias is bearish, but price could get stuck in a range. So just be mindful of that. But for now, bias is bearish. Next target here is 1.0950, which we are fairly close to. So we'll ignore that. 1.0900 will be the next one. And then 1.0840 will be the one after that. So bias is bearish for euro dollar. Pound dollar as well, we have seen this drop in British pound here, and most of that was due to the negative comments or commentary that we heard in regards to the Brexit negotiations there. So we do have the Brexit deadline in October, and the comments that came out of UK were not very positive. So everybody's been told to prepare for the no-deal Brexit scenario. So that's problematic for British pound, and we saw British pound drop here. So based on that here, bias is bearish, and I'm looking for price to drop further. The first target here is 1.2020, and then below that we are looking at, so as you can see, we haven't been at these levels in quite some time here. This is where the market has been getting, seeing more buying here. So here bias is bearish. 1.2020 is the first target. 1.1980 is the second target. So bias is bearish for pound. And if things pick up here, we could see this one drop further as well. But then we are into levels that we haven't seen in many, many years here. So for now, though, bias is bearish, and I would look for price to drop here. Okay, so let's go on to okay, so here we are, and those are the levels we're watching: 1.2020, then 1980, and then 1880. Those are the three levels I have marked down. So bearish bias for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one has also been declining. We saw that price broke down here, but it's still making slow progress to the downside here. Now, with the Australian dollar news coming up, or Australian news coming up, the RBA statement, that could make a difference in this one. So for now, the bias is bearish. I am looking for price to drop towards the bottom of this pin here at 0.6680. But if the Reserve Bank of Australia is more dovish than expected, then we're likely to see Australian dollar drop. But if they just repeat what they have said before, then I don't expect much of a change. However, if they become more dovish, more concerned, then we're likely to see Australian dollar drop, and this one could drop further. Now, there is a contingency, or we have to keep in mind that if they are actually not as dovish, if they sound optimistic for some reason, it could have the opposite impact, and then we could see Australian dollar go back up. So do keep that in mind, but that's not my base case. My base case is to see a drop here. So bias here is bearish, and below that, then we're going back into levels again that we have not seen for quite some time here. So bias at this point is bearish, and in terms of our targets here, I'm looking at first target of 0.6680, then 0.6600. So a bearish bias here for Australian dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one has also been dropping for quite some time here. And now we are into this neutral territory for the last couple of days here. Price has just traded sideways here. So with this one, my apologies. Overall, though, bias is still bearish because we are seeing price decline, but be careful, because if it starts to get range bound, it can turn around as well. So for now, though, bias is bearish, and next target here would be 0.6280, and then below that 0.6240. Those are the levels that I'm watching for. But if for some reason we see that price breaks above today's high, then it could go higher. But this is what I'm looking for now. But as we can see for the last couple of days here, price has been neutral. And if it breaks out of the high, then we could see price go into the next level there. And in that case, the first target there would be 0.6365. So it could pull back into this level here. For now, though, this is neutral to bearish for today. So I would look for a drop towards 0.6280 and then potentially 0.6240. Dollar CAD here, this has been interesting. It is still trading in a range. It did try to break through to the upside, but has failed. So this is the range that price is trading in. We saw that price had tried to break to the downside. It got pulled back. Now it tried to break towards the top. That got rejected. So today we have a bearish, a pin bar here. So I would look for price to come back into the range. So I'm looking for a pullback into 1.3350 and then a potential reversal there towards the middle of the range. So my bias is actually bearish on dollar CAD. Okay, commodities. Let's take a look at commodities. We are looking at silver here. Now, silver has been trading sideways here for the last few days. Today's candle closes neutral here. It hasn't really done a whole lot. And now it looks like it wants to drop, but this one could go higher to test the high at 18.65 and then come back down. So keep that in mind. But overall, it has been very, very bullish. So overall bias is still bullish, but for now, this one has been trading sideways. So we could see a drop towards the bottom of the support at 18. And then this one could go higher. So something like this. So watch out for that. The next target level though. So right now we are into this support resistance level from March of 2017. This is a very important support resistance level. This is why we are seeing price struggle at this level, because if we take a look here, it did struggle previously as well. So the next target from there, if it goes through that high, we could see it go higher towards 18.80 level, and then potentially all the way through 819 level. For now though, in the short term, we are looking at a range bound move. So my bias is neutral here because I think we could see price come back towards the bottom of the range, or we see a push higher into the high here at 18.765 and then a drop. So either of those things could happen here. Now, if it breaks through the high for some reason, then we're looking for price to go into 18.85 and then 19. So watch out for that. For now, bias is neutral, looking for it to come back towards the bottom of the range here at 18. Gold here, gold is similar as well. We are seeing price trade in a range at the moment. So, excuse me. So this is where price has been trading for the last several days here. Hasn't really made out towards the low here. Now, I would watch out for a drop through the support here, because once it drops through the support, we're looking at basically price coming into 1492 level back into the support area. So for now, we are into the support level here. Bias is neutral here. Today's candle close is completely neutral. So if we see that price breaks through the support level, I would look for the follow through move to the downside towards 1492. However, in the meantime though, if it doesn't break the support, we could see it go back into the range here as well. So the bias for gold is also neutral here. Now, with everybody returning from the long weekend, keep an eye on the comments that come out tomorrow. We have been hearing about US-China trade relations. So if the situation gets worse, then we're likely to see the yen crosses drop, and we're likely to see gold and silver go up as a result of that. So keep your eyes and ears open, because we could see some comments either from President Trump or from Chinese officials that could have an impact on the market. For now though, market, or at least these seem to be holding. There isn't, the tariffs did go into play. So, but the market is kind of waiting to see what will happen. So just keep an eye on that. For now, bias is neutral for gold. Oil here. Oil has also been range bound. So look, over the last little while here, things have been range bound, especially in August here. A lot of traders go away, so markets tend to be quiet. So we do see moves that tend to be a little bit more exaggerated, but overall, not a whole lot is going on in August. So now that we are back into September, as liquidity picks up, we are likely to see a little bit more trending moves. So with this one here, this one has also been trading in a range. We see that price has held below this previous level here. So bias is bearish right now. And if we see price hold below 55.20-ish level, then I will look for price to drop further towards 53 here. So bias is bearish for oil, and target is 53. Second target is 51.80. Actually, we could probably go for this one, 52.20. So bias is bearish for oil. Copper here, copper is looking bearish. We have a bearish candle close. It is into support, so just be mindful of with that. But bias is bearish. Next target is 2.45. So bearish bias for copper. Bitcoin has jumped up. It came into support. We had two neutral candle closes, and now it's gone up. So today's candle close is very bullish. So next target here would be 11,000, and then above that we're looking at 11,400. But here bias is bullish, and we could see one of these moves. That's what I'm looking for. So bullish bias. However, if you take a look here, we see that price is in this smaller range here. So keep that in mind, because we could see price get stuck at 10,600. So if it does not go through 10,600, we could see it come back into this range, and this one could become range bound until we see some trigger. For now though, bias is bullish. Next target would be 11,000 and then 11,400. All right, equities markets. Equity markets are waiting. People were expecting the tariffs to not go through, but that date has passed. And this being a long weekend, we could hear comments out of the officials tomorrow. So there's still room for negative comments to come out. But for now, though, bias is bearish. This one has also been trading in a range for the entire month of August, essentially. But we see that prices rejected the top of the range. We have another bearish pin bar here. So I will look for price to drop further here. Next target is 28.50. And then below that, we are looking at 2800. So bias is bearish. Now, it could go and test higher, but overall, I am looking for a drop here. So bearish bias for S&P 500. NASDAQ here, same thing. We see that price has been trading in this range for some time now, all of August essentially. Same thing, we have a bearish close here. We have a large pin on top. So this is our pin bar, looking for price to drop further. And 75 is the first target. And then we're looking at 73.80. So bias is bearish for NASDAQ as well. DAX here, this one is looking bullish. Now we see that price has broken through this resistance level and it's gone higher. Now there is a support resistance there as well, right into that level. So this is an important level as well. Today's candle close is neutral. On Friday, we had a big solid candle close here, bullish. With this one, what we have to pay attention to is how price reacts here. So if price comes to test this 11,850 level, if it holds above, then it's likely to continue higher. And this would just be a back test of it to go further. So keep that in mind. I would look for price to drop towards 11,850. And if it goes through, then we're looking at 12,000 as the first target. And then we're looking at essentially 12,080 as the next target. So the move that we could see is something like this. So watch out for that. Now, should it drop through the support resistance level, then we are back into the range, and I will look for a continuation there. For now, though, bias is neutral based on this, and this is the move I'm looking for. Then we have FTSE here. So this one is looking bullish. We have seen price go up as a result here. Now we are right into resistance. So if price does not go through the resistance, it could turn around and come back. However, since we do have a bullish candle close here, bias is bullish, and only after it breaks this level. Once it breaks the high, I will look for a continuation, and we could get a move towards 73.70 level here. So watch out for that. But for that, we do need to see a move out of this range and a continuation higher. So bullish bias for now. If it doesn't break the high, I will look for a move back into the range here. So for now, FTSE is looking bullish. And Nikkei, not so much. We have a pin bar here as well. So I will look for a drop back towards the support here at 20,300. So this one has also been trading in a range. As we see, it's rejected the high. Now we have doji here, so looking for a drop to 20,300 is the first target. And then we have a 20,100. So bias is bearish here for Nikkei. All right, so that's all I have. We will wrap it up here. Have a great trading day tomorrow, and I'll be back again tomorrow evening. Bye for now.